And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch it live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big ol' Friday. We got two more NBA playoff games on tonight, so we'll be previewing those games, doing our moneymaker for those games, breaking down the NBA playoff games from last night, some good games, so we'll break those down. And we are continuing on judging Aaron Rodgers today. How much credit does he deserve for his one and only Super Bowl appearance? So we're breaking out his championship run. We did the wild card game, the divisional game, and now it's the NFC championship game against the Bears that we're going to be breaking down and looking into today. And we all know that Aaron Rodgers flounders in the NFC championship games. Does he do it again on his championship run? We'll take a look at that and break all that down. But let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. In the first one up, since we're talking about, Aaron Rodgers, and there is no more Turtle Rodgers anymore, unfortunately. The mandatory mini camps are over. Just a little 3-day workout, little mini camp. That's why they call it mini camp, folks. Only 3 days. So Aaron Rodgers retreated back to his shell and is just kind of hibernating in there until the next mandatory practices for the Packers, and then we'll see what's up with him at that point. But so far, the man is just comfy, cozy, at home in his shell. No big deal. But we got day 3 to break down of Jordan Love. How was he looking? We saw kind of not the best day 1, but we kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt because he came out firing day number 2, said he wanted to stack good days on top of good days on top of good days, and day 3 was his chance to stack a good day on top of a good day. So we got his notes here. How was he looking? Not great. Here we go. Jordan Love, 8 of 16 passing. 50%. No. That's not good, folks. We are looking at 62 to 65. 62 to 65, and that man's at 50. Not great. And he had an interception in a red zone heavy practice. No. Jordan Love, you cannot be throwing interceptions in the red zone. That's what Mitch Trubisky does. We cannot have you not capitalizing on points. If you don't get the 7, it's not great, but we can live with the field goal. And if you're in the red zone, that's almost guaranteed 3 points. You cannot be giving up free points like that by throwing the interceptions, by turning the ball over, and that's what he was doing in the red zone. Not good, folks. Not good. What he did have was a 10-yard touchdown on a crossing route to Winfrey and a 12-yard on a fade to Robert Tonyan, their tight end. So the 12-yard fade, I'm all about that. A touchdown there, giving it up, 50-50 ball, going to your tall tight ends. I'm all about that. But the interception and the 50% completion percentage, no, not great. So Jordan Love is still hit and miss here. Nothing truly solid. And it's not looking good for the Packers now because Aaron Rodgers has all the power now. If Jordan Love was looking really good and really solid for multiple days in these mini camps, Aaron Rodgers would be like, maybe I do got to get over there. Maybe I should be a Packer. Maybe I should go and get my spot back. But now Aaron Rodgers, all he's doing is sitting down, watching and laughing and smirking and just, doing his old Aaron Rodgers things, thinking he's better than everyone. And, in his mind, he's like, I told you, hey, I told you, you can't get there without me. I told you. But, you wanted to draft my replacement, and this guy, 8 of 16? So that's where we're at with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, folks. The mandatory minicaps have wrapped up. Jordan Love, hopefully he gets better somehow. I don't know. But we cannot be having 8 of 16 with an interception in the red zone. Not looking good. So Jordan Love, we wanted to buy into him. We were big on him yesterday. We loved what we heard. But now it's just, all right, he's back to kind of being not great. And there's really nothing that we can sink our teeth into now. Because if we see another good day, it's like, okay, we're ready for the bad day. Where's the bad day coming? Because we know it's coming. So truly unfortunate here for the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, winning this holdout so far with the Green Bay Packers. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We go to the Titans, and we get our first look at Julio Jones out in practice. Yes, sir, they posted a nice little 1-minute highlight workout. He's doing a nice little ladder drill, fighting off a defender, fighting off the pads, catching a ball. Here we go. A nice little route to stop and go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Looking real good. Looking explosive. Looking great out here so far. What else do we get from this man? Number 2 is looking real good in the number 2. Just some ladder drills. Nice catches here. Obviously nothing in depth. It's just all like drills. So nothing big here. But hey, still looking explosive. He doesn't look bothered by the hamstring. It looks like he's going full force. He's doing all these cone drills, stopping, starting, cutting on a dime. And he's looking pretty solid out here. So Julio Jones, we kind of talked about it yesterday. He's 32. We've seen some, great wide receivers that are in the Hall of Fame cap out at 32. But we've also seen some that go to 40, 42. So Julio Jones is looking fresh out here, looking real good. And then what else do we got here? We got a nice little couple of quotes from him, finally answering some questions, some quotes here since he's finally a Titan now. So let's see what we get here in this article. Alrighty, so here we go. Meeting with the media for the first time on his new team, Jones took issue with anyone who thinks he's old or injury prone. That was kind of us a little bit, so we're sorry, Julio. Don't call us out like that. But Jones took issue with anyone who thinks he's old or injury prone, saying that not giving him enough time to heal last season is what led to the lingering problem. Quote, "For me, at the end of the day, I believe in me. I know what I have in the tank, and we talking about age is 32. I'm young. In football, you can say it's old, but you either do it or you don't. And once again, it is kind of, 32 was kind of 50-50 as old or, old and washed up or still young and fresh, as we just saw that yesterday on the show. So, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's looking real great out there. He's feeling good, so we'll take his word for it. Back to the quote here, quote, "I'm young. In football, you can say it's old, but you either do it or you don't. This game don't change for me. I'm still fast and strong." He was looking fast out there in those drills. "I'm still fast and strong. Into the games last year, I just had an issue where I didn't take enough time to heal properly. That was just my decision on going out there and just playing. There's no excuses, things like that. I'll be ready to go. So for those questioning my health and things like that, just stay tuned." Alrighty, I'm buying into him now. The hamstring, no worries there. We're not worried about that. The age, we're not worried about that. That man's talking all the stuff here, and we're kind of buying it. We're liking what we see, and I know it's still early from training camp, but he's looking explosive. Those kind of quick cuts, that's still good. That's still high level of play out there. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and maybe kind of our own narrative that we were kind of, talking of him being too old and the injury still lingering. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about that at all. So expect big things from Julio Jones. He believes in himself. He's taking the extra time. He feels like he's, at 100% strength right now. He's taken enough time to fully recover. Just didn't do that last season because he just wanted to play so gosh darn bad. He tried to push it and push it and push it, and unfortunately he pushed it a little bit too much and, missed a couple of games. He missed like 7 games last season. So that's, he's putting all of our kind of our worries to rest, which is exactly what we want to hear, and looking really good out there. All right, let's see what else we get here in this article. Jones said opponents will have to gamble by either stacking the box or dropping back in the secondary in an attempt to slow down the Titans' offense. And, that's exactly what we were saying. I mean, you are going to have to kind of gauge. Do you want to get beat by Julio Jones, or do you want to get freaking pounded in the mouth by Derrick Henry? You're really going to have to pick your poison here, and Julio Jones, reiterates what we've been saying. But here we go, the quote. Defenses, you're really going to have to pick your poison. If you stay in the box, put 9 in the box, a guy like Derrick Henry in the backfield, you got to respect him. So then That's when me and AJ go to work outside. Then if you only got 8 in the box, they're going to go to work in the backfield. Great offensive line, things like that, scheme, stuff like that. I mean, you just got to pick your poison at the end of the day. And folks, we've seen what Derrick Henry can do. You can stack the box. You can put 12. You can put all 12 defenders in the box, folks. It doesn't matter. Derrick Henry is going to burst through the first line, get to the second, and then, as he's dragging 2 linebackers on him, and he's still outrunning all the safeties in the third line of defense out there, and there's nobody to stop him. So we already know Derrick Henry, you're going to have to kind of really commit to stopping him. And if you do that, you got one-on-one with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and those are great wide receivers. Obviously, Julio Jones is proven in this league. I'm throwing 50-50 balls to him every single opportunity. A.J. Brown coming in year 3 here when he put everybody on notice. His first 2 seasons, racking up 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons. Fantastic. So I don't even know. I don't even know if the best defenses are truly going to be able to stop this Titans offense. It's going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait to see Derrick Henry. We have seen him get battered every single season, and he just rushed for 2,000 yards. I want to see him break the record, folks. I want to see Derrick Henry be the leading rusher in NFL history. I believe that's 2,600 yards? Let's bring that up real quick. Adrian Peterson was very close to breaking it about 4 or 5 years ago. Was that right? Where he was only 80 something yards. Adrian Peterson? I believe it was him. But let's get the record up. The NFL rushing record. Emmitt Smith. Oh, no, hang on. That's total. No. We're looking at season. Where we got? Season. Okay, come on. Where are we at? Here we go. Regular season. Single season. Here we go. Alrighty, it was Eric Dickerson with 2,100 yards. Adrian Peterson in, when was this? 2012. So, wow, geez, freaking 8 years ago. Oh, man, where does the time go? But Adrian Peterson, 2,097 yards. I mean, folks, Derrick Henry's number 5 just last season. 2,027 yards. He was so close. Damn it. I thought it was a little higher. I thought it was 2,400. But Eric Dickerson, only 2,105 yards. Easily, Derrick Henry can break that. Derrick Henry's in his 5th season. Going into his 5th season, and he's already knocking on the door, folks. You gotta freaking respect it, and you gotta love it. Man, oh man, Derrick Henry's so close. I'm super upset he didn't break it now. I didn't think it was that close, but yeah, 2,027 yards for Derrick Henry. He's the 5th all-time, folks. 5th all-time. The only rushers that are better than him in a single season, Barry Sanders, Jamal Lewis, Adrian Peterson, and Eric Dickerson. Talk about a class you want to freaking be mentioned in, no? Absolutely fantastic. He's better than Chris Johnson. He's better than Terrell Davis. He's better than the Juice, baby. The Juice, and the man does not even have a murder charge. So fantastic there. Oh, my God. Man, oh, man. 2027. Jeez. Fantastic. So expect him to do it again. Like we said, we see his yards go up every single season, and he's just got to get 100 more yards, and he's good to go for that record. So, man, oh, man, cannot wait to see what this Titans team can do. And now, I mean, this is just going to open up Derrick Henry more because, like we said, you're going to have to pick your poison. Most of the time, defenses will see how young Julio Jones is looking out there, but probably for the first maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, defenses are probably just going to be kind of single covering Julio Jones just because of the age. Let's see you prove that you can beat us. Derrick Henry has just proven that they can beat any defense, that he can beat any defense single-handedly the last 2 years. So, Julio Jones still, he's still elite, don't get us wrong, but let's see if he's elite this year on a new team. So expect early on in the season that they stop the running game and try to have Julio Jones beat them. And then if Julio Jones starts kind of, crushing the defenses, then they'll start doubling him. And then that's when Derrick Henry's going to kind of be free to just go beast mode, folks. Absolutely beast mode. So, what do you do? You got Derrick Henry punching you in the mouth every single run, and then you got Julio Jones to take you up, take off the defense over the top. So it's going to be absolutely freaking fantastic, folks. All right, let's go to this last quote right here. In A.J. Brown's recruitment of Jones in recent weeks, the Titans' incumbent receiver said he'd give up number 11 jersey to Julio. Jones, however, wouldn't accept and instead chose 2. The new Tennessee receiver said the number choice was another fun reminder of the three-headed monster that the Titans now possess with himself, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry. So, quote, A.J. Brown tried to give me number 11, and I said, I don't want it. That's your number. I'm just going to go with number 2. I felt like me, A.J. Brown, and Derrick, 1 + 1 is 2. The 2 times 11 is 22, and so that's all their jerseys. Number 2 is Julio Jones. Number 11, A.J. Brown. Number 22 is Derrick Henry. The 2 times 11 is 22, so it's kind of like you're going to have to deal with us, all 4 of us, actually, with quarterback Ryan Tannehill. But you're going to have to deal with the whole offense. It takes all 11 guys, but this 2 thing is just to keep you guys going and have fun with it. At the end of the day, it's our job, but we'll have fun with it. So I absolutely love that. Julio Jones truly just wanting to kind of fit in. He doesn't kind of want to be, hey, I'm the marquee matchup here. I deserve all these touches. I want all the touches. I want all the praise. I want all the points. I want all the touchdowns. I want all the records. No. He's coming and be like, hey, y'all already got something great here. I'm just trying to be kind of the third. I'm just being the third. You keep your jersey. Oh, you're number 2. Derrick Henry's number 22. How do we kind of get those numbers, or you're number 11, you're number 22. How do we kind of get those numbers kind of all in the mix, including me? Well, let me just do 2, because all 3 of us together, we're all kind of connected here in this number. 2 times 11 equals 22. It's just a reminder, when you're looking at 2, whether you're looking at number 11, whether you're looking at number 22, we're all A1 tier 1 weapons, and we're all ready to rock and drop points and yards on your defense. We're all ready to rock. You're going to have to stop all 3 of us if you want a slight chance to beat any of us. So I'm loving it here, man. Julio Jones is coming in with the perfect attitude. I'm all about it. And not only did we have all that great jersey talk of Julio Jones, we get this, and this is, I think, what I love the most here. Everything that he said, I love this one the most. Julio Jones on teaming up with another wide receiver 1 in A.J. Brown. He's calling it a 1-1 punch, folks. It's not a 1-2 punch. No. We 1-1 punch. It doesn't matter. We're both fantastic. Give me the ball. Give him the ball. We both do the same things out here. We're taking the top off the defense. If you're going to single cover us, you're going to have a bad time. If you're going to double cover us, well, it's unfortunate because we're still coming up with the ball. So 1-1 punch. Yes, sir. You're going to have to extend it to a 1-1 punch with Derrick Henry, but I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the juice here that Julio Jones is bringing. And if Ryan Tannehill can just be that above game manager that we've seen this his entire career, even in Miami when he was having to kind of overcome all the garbage coaching, the garbage play calling, even, I don't want to say it, but some of the garbage talent that Adam Gase was bringing in Miami. He was still trying to do everything he can. He led us to the playoffs, solid records every single season. Obviously not bringing us over the top, but he just has to be that game manager. He's got the talent around him here in Tennessee. He's been the game manager, playoffs, both season, AFC championship season, year 1. So you got to kind of expect him to do the same thing here, and they've got weapons everywhere. So I cannot wait, folks. I cannot wait to see what this Titans team is going to do right out of the gate, and everybody's so confident. Julio Jones is not trying to be kind of the diva superstar. He is ready to rock with these guys that have already really kind of established themselves as a great team and great talent already, and Julio Jones wants to just kind of come in and be the third and be the one that really puts the cherry on top of what this team actually is. So Julio Jones, man, got to praise him, and I'm sorry, Julio, I'm talking to you. I'm sorry for knocking you the last couple of days, and we were like, well, he's 32, maybe he doesn't have anything. No, we were wrong. For once on the show, we were wrong, Julio. We apologize. Please forgive us. So, man, oh man, folks, it's looking great there in Tennessee. Man, oh man. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Justin Fields, once again, another great headline. We just talked about him yesterday on the show. The receivers were smiling mid-route because they knew, Oh my God, this ball is thrown beautifully. I could cry, but I'm just going to smile. And they're catching absolutely beautiful balls thrown by Justin Fields. He got his rookie contract initially went down yesterday as well. And now we get another great quote here, this time from Matt Nagy, the head coach, praising this man, and we love it. Quote here, Matt Nagy on Justin Fields at Bears practice, quote, he has that mentality of rip your heart out. Yes, sir. We love that, man. Andy Dalton's not ripping anybody's heart out. Come on. Have you seen him play? Have you seen him, folks? He's milk, folks. He's milk. Plain old milk. Oh, was that a good ball? Okay, thank you. Marvin Lewis, was that good? Oh, it was? Okay, thank you. Oh, defenses, hey, I scored on you, but that's okay. I'm just going to go back in the huddle. Oh, Dak Prescott, is it okay if I take over for you when you're injured? Okay, thank you. Mike McCarthy, can I step up for Dak Oh, I can't, thank you. Okay, let's go. You guys ready to go? CeeDee Lamb, I'm going to try and get you the ball. You ready for it? I'm going to try my best to get you the ball. Okay. Just make sure you're open. Okay. Ezekiel Elliott, I'm going to hand off the ball. He's milk, folks. He's milk. And Justin Fields is out here ripping players' hearts out. Literally ripping their hearts out. So I love it here. We are big on Justin Fields. We believe he should be the starter. We are kind of buying into him that he can work in the NFL. We are not big on Mac Jones, but we are big on Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. So those are the two quarterbacks that we think are going to have true success. The 49ers quarterback that they drafted, Trey Lance, we're not buying into. Mac Jones, we're definitely. Cam Newton is out there calling him mac and cheese. I mean, that's not a nickname that you want, folks. And Mac Jones, I mean, he's loving it. But, yeah, don't get called mac and cheese. Mac and cheese and milk, folks. I mean, that's what we're working with some of these quarterbacks in the league. So I love that Justin Fields is, putting in that work, putting in that leadership, having that kind of real competitive energy out there on the field. And it's so much that Matt Nagy's even seeing it. So And we know Matt Nagy, he kind of, bet on Andy Dalton. And now that, they had that opportunity to go get Justin Fields in the draft, Matt Nagy is kind of swallowing his pride, seeing that, hey, this man is clearly better than Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was just kind of our B, but now that we have our true A, we're ready to rock with him. So expect Justin Fields to be the week one starter, hands down, no doubt, no debate. Andy Dalton is not going to step foot on that field unless, let me knock on wood, because I don't even want to say this, unless Justin Fields, something happens to him. And that's all I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to get into the specifics, but if anything happens to Justin Fields, that would be the only time that Andy Dalton would step 1 foot, 1 toe. 1 toe is not even going to touch the blade of playing grass during the NFL regular season, because unless Justin Fields is something happens. That's it, folks. So loving hearing all these great things from Justin Fields so far. And we'll see how he does for the rest of the offseason. But, expect him to be the week one starter. The mentality, the throws are looking to be there. And Matt Nagy is so far impressed. Alrighty, let's keep going here. We got the Rams, and man, oh man, this is our Super Bowl prediction. The NFC with the Rams coming out of the NFC. And now we got a little bit of a quote here from Sean McVay, which once again just kind of solidifies that he truly did not like Jared Goff as a quarterback. Truly unfortunate there, but here we go. Sean McVay joined Stafford on stage. They had like this conference, this little kind of live press conference in the Ram Stadium. So Sean McVay joined Stafford on stage and said he's been telling people, quote, "You're damn right," when told him he seems to be in a better mood this offseason, says the confidence Stafford walks into a room with has been infectious for him and the team. So Sean McVay is absolutely fired up to have Matt Stafford here. He loves everything about Matt Stafford. He loves his confidence, saying it's infectious. And he's like, you're damn right, we're feeling good. We're feeling absolutely fantastic having Matt Stafford on this team. And once again, Jared Goff couldn't quite win the Super Bowl, couldn't really quite get there in the regular season. And Sean McVay really just wanted Jared Goff out. Sean McVay wanted his quarterback. Sean McVay unfortunately inherited Jared Goff, and the first opportunity that arose to finally get rid of Jared Goff. He took it and now has kind of the quarterback that he wants to run his system. He was trying to kind of fit Jared Goff into his system and it wasn't working out, and now he's got the quarterback that he wants. He's excited to have him here, and that's exactly what we're saying why this Rams team is going to be fantastic. We know their defense is solid. Their defense is going to be top 5 in this league, but the offense here with Matt Stafford's really going to be the one to tie this entire offense together. So once again, a lot of pressure on Sean McVay this season to get it done. He finally has kind of the quarterback that fits the system he was trying to run with Jared Goff. He's feeling good about it. He's loving what he's seeing early from Matt Stafford. We've been loving what we've been seeing early from Matthew Stafford. We've saw a couple of throws that he was making in the, was it the OTAs or mandatory minicamps, whatever it was. I think it was the OTAs, but we were loving kind of, the velocity on the ball, where he was throwing. We were kind of looking at him and he was kind of stunting on him, like throwing kind of mid-shuffle, side shuffle, a nice flick of the wrist to get the ball there, and then he's connecting with his wide receivers in the end zone. So Sean McVay's loving it. I'm loving it. In this Rams team, watch out. The Rams, the Titans, man, 2 big teams that are just looking absolutely fantastic in this offseason so far. And like I said, I know it's only practice and I know it's only OTAs and there's no full contact and there's no pads. I get all that, folks, but what we've been seeing early here, great things, and hopefully it all plays out exactly how we're thinking it's going to play out in the regular season, but only time will tell. But so far we've been loving what we've been seeing. So Sean McVay, pumped to have Matt Stafford there. He is his quarterback that he wants. So now we can start seeing what Sean McVay can do as a head coach. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. And Gardner Minshew, he's back in the news, folks. Minshew mania. And this time, he wants a chance to compete for a starting quarterback job. With the Jaguars, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's it. I mean, unfortunate for Gardner Minshew. He had his opportunities. Solid. We're going to look at his stats in a second, and they're solid stats, but unfortunately, they didn't translate to wins. Now, is that because the Jaguars were trash? Yeah, we could probably say that. But at the end of the day, he wasn't getting it done winning games, and you have to win in this league. If you don't win in this league, it's unfortunate. It doesn't really matter what your stats are looking like. Jameis Winston, his stats, 30 yards, 30 yards. Could you imagine 30 yards for an entire season? 30 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns, and 5,000 yards in a season. But once again, not translating to wins. Went 7-9. Had to go. Had to get out of there. No more Jameis Winston starting. And now he's kind of at square one competing for a job again. So the Jaguars say they may take a 5th or 6th round pick for Gardner Minshew. So we'll see if he ends up kind of getting dealt. If he goes to the Packers, that's going to be an interesting team to look for. And as we're kind of saying this, is there any team that still needs a starting quarterback? Is there any team? So let's quickly go through the teams really quickly and see if there is even a chance for Gardner Minshew to compete for any job, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. The Seahawks, they got Russell Wilson. The Rams, come on, we just talked about it. The Cardinals, the 49ers, they just drafted their guy. The Cardinals don't need one either. The Saints, they've already got their competition quarterback there with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. Tom Brady with the Bucs, they've got their backup of Kyle Trask. The Carolina Panthers, well, Matt Rule's set on Sam Darnold for some reason. We don't understand it. We don't think it's going to work out, but that's what he wants. The Falcons with Matt Ryan, that he's going to be their guy, and there's no competition there. Washington football team, this is an interesting spot. Definitely could be there. We're going to talk about them, I think, in the next story, but there is a quarterback competition there with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heineke. So, I mean, you add a third quarterback into that mix, potential there. That's a potential spot for him, even though I really think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is just going to be kind of the starter just because he has the experience and they're kind of in a win, not a really win now mode, but they want to win while rebuilding, and they've kind of proven that they can win while rebuilding. So that's kind of the path I think they're going to take, even though nothing's been concluded. So Washington's definitely a potential spot for Gardner Minshew, and if it's only going to cost a 5th or 6th round pick, that's not too bad. Giants have Daniel Jones. Cowboys have Dak Prescott. Philadelphia Eagles have Jalen Hurts. The Green Bay Packers. Now, yeah, that's a team that he could potentially go for because it's seeming like Aaron Rodgers is definitely not going to play there. We'll see the next mandatory camp. That's when we'll probably get a lot more information. especially since we just talked about Jordan Love floundering in day 3, so we can't really trust him anyway. But for him to go to the Packers, that's potential there. He could potentially be the starter. It's not that. I mean, let's go to the Green Bay Packers depth chart looking like it's just quarterbacks. Obviously, we know they got Jordan Love, but like, who's their second? Who can potentially take his job? Because it's not looking like he wants that job, or he's actively getting that job anyway. So let's see their depth chart really quickly. Let's see what they've got at their quarterback roster. Let's see what we got here. Aaron Rodgers, obviously, Jordan Love, Blake Bortles. Oh, they got Blake Bortles and Kirk Benkert. Okay. So obviously, maybe he could try to compete with that. I mean, yeah, easily he could compete with Jordan Love and Blake Bortles, easily. And then it's just all going to depend on really what happens with Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, definitely Washington and Green Bay so far, some good fits potentially for Gardner Minshew to win a starting job. No real great quarterbacks there. We are assuming that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play for the Packers this season. But let's keep going here. The Bears, they've got their guy. We just talked about him. Matt Nagy's loving it. The Vikings, they've kind of got their guy, and then they got the backup. We talked about it yesterday on the show. Kirk Cousins wanting to be that mentor for Mund. We'll see how he plays out. Detroit Lions, they got Jared Goff. So, I mean, he's been a starter in this league. Solid. Maybe you get another quarterback competition behind him, but I don't really think Gardner Minshew can outperform him. The Tennessee Titans got Ryan Tannehill. The Colts have the Super Bowl 22 MVP here, and the 2022 Super Bowl MVP in Carson Wentz. Houston Texans, well, they got Deshaun Watson, who we don't know what the hell's going on with that, but then they also got Tyrod Taylor as the backup, so it's really kind of seeming like Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter here, and I don't know if Gardner Minshew can really challenge him. Jacksonville Jaguars, well, that's where he's at right now. The Bills, they've got their guy. The Dolphins have their guy. The Patriots, they got Cam Newton. They got mac and cheese. They kind of seem solid so far. The Jets, they just drafted their guy. They're not going to, even think about another starting quarterback. The Steelers, potential here. Potential for the Steelers. I'm not buying this Mason Rudolph, folks. I'll take Gardner Minshew over Mason Rudolph any day of the week, all day of the week, every day, leap year, no year. I'm taking Minshew, folks. I'm taking the mustache. I'm not taking Mason Rudolph. So, but it's not going to be this year. Big Ben's going to be the starter this year, but maybe if he wants the job next year, that's a potential landing spot for him. Learn behind Big Ben, learn the system, and then next year you can really compete. They'll probably draft the quarterback regardless of what happens, whatever quarterback they bring in, just have on the roster. But yeah, the Steelers, a potential landing spot for him, but not going to be a starter this year. The Ravens, no, they got Lamar Jackson. The Browns have Baker Mayfield. The Bengals, they've got their new guy. The Chiefs, obviously, come on, folks. We're talking about MVP. We're talking about MVP. We're talking about Hall of Fame and Patty Mahomes over there. The Raiders are looking good on Derek Carr. The Chargers have Justin Herbert. And the Broncos, I mean, folks, they've already got, their quarterback in Teddy B. They got their backup in Drew Lock. There's talks of Deshaun Watson wanting to be a Denver Bronco. So they've really, truly had their hands full at the quarterback position. So Gardner Minshew, there is some spots this year that he could potentially be the starter. Washington and Green Bay, those are two solid teams that he could go to if he ends up getting dealt like he wants to. So we'll keep an eye on him, but can he play? Like I said, I mean, these stats are pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. It just unfortunately does not result into any wins. 2019, when he got his first start, Minshew Mania broke out there. 2019, he went 6-6. So once again, 500, that's not good enough. It's unfortunately not good enough in this league. It's unfortunate, but it's realistic. It's what's happening. If you're not above 500, if you're not winning games, we can't keep you as a starter no matter how good your stats are. And he had 60% completion year one. Once again, a little bit on the low side, but still 60. We can build off of that, and he definitely did that. We're going to talk about year two in a second. He had 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions, and that was fantastic. That's what we love about this man. He does not turn the ball over, folks. I think he did have a lot of fumbles his first year. He did fumble 13 times his first year, so that's unfortunate, and we don't get the breakdown, and that's why we hate this, because we don't get the breakdown of fumbles lost. We just see total fumbles. Fumbles lost and recovered. So he fumbled 13 times, probably didn't lose them all, but still, Potential for turnovers there. Not interceptions, though. So that we can definitely build on once again. Stop running the ball. You're not a runner. Protect the ball. We can learn that, but he's not throwing interceptions. And that's something that we can build on, like we said. And then year 2, once again, did not result into wins. 1-7, folks. But once again, his stats were good. And only those 8 games, 66% completion percentage. That's what we're freaking talking about, folks. We want to see you in 62 to 65. And obviously, everything over 65% is great. That's what we're talking about. So 66% completion percentage, 2,200 yards in 8 games. You double that, we're at 4,000 for the entire year. That's what we're talking about again. And the touchdown and interceptions. We got 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3-1. Yes, sir. Give us that. And the fumbles went down year 2 as well. Only 5 fumbles in total. Lost and recovered. So exactly what we're talking about. But unfortunately, it just did not translate to win. So let's go to these game logs in 2020 and see, were they getting blown out? Were they not competitive? Or was they just kind of close games, not really on Minshew's fault because the team overall was just absolutely garbage? So just last season, let's see these games. Here we go. They win against the Colts. That was their only win of the season, 27-20. He threw 95% completion percentage, folks. He missed 1 throw, 3 touchdowns, no picks for 173 yards. That's what we're talking about. That's his potential right here. Great. But then, unfortunately, he lost every other game after that. How do you beat the Colts and then you go out and lose against all the other teams? So they lost against the Titans, but only by 3. He had 2 interceptions that game, so, kind of heavy in that game with the interceptions, but still 66% completion percentage, 339 yards. They got blown out by the Dolphins, 31-13. No touchdowns, 1 interceptions, but once again, 71% completion percentage, 275 yards. That's buildable. They lost against the Bengals by 8, 33-25. 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Once again, those interceptions are truly killing him. When he does throw them, it's unfortunate they lose the game. But once again, 67% completion percentage, 351 yards. I mean, it's there. And then they get blown out by Houston, 30-14. 2 touchdowns, no picks, still losing. Unfortunately, 63% completion percentage, still losing. They get blown out by Detroit, 34-16. He had a bad game this time, 56% completion percentage. They get blown out by the Chargers by 10, and that Chargers defense is pretty solid. 2 touchdowns, no picks, but 51% completion percentage. Then he's inactive for a little bit. He gets thrown right back in there, back to getting blown out. Let's see what was going on here when he was not playing through weeks 9 through 13. So he started weeks 1 through 7. That's what we just read off, and then kind of got benched for weeks 9 through 13. They were still losing. Lost against the Houston Texans again, this time only by 2 instead of getting blown out by 16, 27-25. They lose by Green Bay by 4, 24-20. They get blown out by Pittsburgh, 27-3. They get blown out, or not blown out by Cleveland. They lose by 2 by Cleveland, 27-25. And then they lose by Minnesota close, 27-24. They throw them back in there, and then they're back to getting blown out. These are not good signs here. Getting blown out by the Titans while Gardner Minshew played, 31-10, 58% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, no picks. They get blown out by Baltimore, 40-14, 75% completion percentage, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. It's unfortunately not translating to wins, and they are kind of getting blown out in a lot of their games. Now, like we said, we can chalk this up to just the Jaguars overall being trash, and I would have no problem with that. So, if a team wants to take a chance on Gardner Minshew, I think that's solid here. I think that is a solid backup to have that can compete for a starting job. Washington's got a great defense to keep the games close, and we see Gardner Minshew can go out and sling the ball. We've seen it. We just looked at the stats. These are promising, workable, buildable stats. Just have to have that good defense. And that's what Washington has. So, yeah, Gardner Minshew can go to Washington and kind of compete for that starting job. I'd give him a solid chance there. And then for Green Bay, they already had the infrastructure there to kind of compete for rings. They went 13-3 the last 2 years. The defense is there. The weapons are there. Just the quarterback, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is not. And Jordan Love is not looking like that piece either. So, Washington and Green Bay, you put Gardner Minshew on teams full of talent, and we can kind of start looking at some good wins here. So yeah, I actually kind of talked myself into Gardner Minshew. I'm liking it now. Coming into this, I wasn't really thinking he was going to be that great to be a starter, but looking at those stats, those are buildable stats, and he's only 2 years in, folks. He's only 2 years in. We see players taking that year 3 leap. Josh Allen, watch out for Daniel Jones this year. So he's still young in this league, folks. And I think Gardner Minshew has a pretty good chance to be a starter at some point again in his career. He's got the yards. He's got the kind of stats. He has the kind of on-field reps in games and experience out there to build on all of that. So, yeah, get Gardner Minshew out of here. Get him out of Jacksonville, folks. So, yeah, that's where we're at with Gardner Minshew, folks. Wants out, and yeah, I'm kind of liking it. So, we'll see, folks. We will see. If he gets traded, the asking price is not too high, folks. 5th or 6th round pick. That's pretty solid if you need a quarterback right now, and there are a couple of teams that do need that. So, we will keep an eye on him. The Minshew, folks. The Minshew. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We're talking about the Seahawks now, and once again, kind of reiterating the entire Russell Wilson saga in the beginning of the offseason was blown way out of proportion. We got a couple of quotes here from Russell Wilson, so let's go into this article and see what this man is truly saying about that whole thing and why it's so different than what is going on in Green Bay right now. Alrighty, here we go. So was everything Wilson said Thursday as he spoke with reporters for the first time since his public criticism led to a drama-filled start to the offseason, as well as calls from other NFL teams about potential trades. Not that Wilson, as frustrated as he was at the time, wanted to be anywhere else. Quote, "Obviously, I love Seattle. I love playing here. I've had a great career here so far. I've always wanted to play here for my full career, obviously. I think there was some unfortunate frustrations after the season. Obviously, you want to win it all and do everything you can. I think everybody on our team does. You want to win it all, and I think, unfortunately, it got a little blown out of proportion a little bit. So, yeah, once again, he didn't really want to leave Seattle. He was just frustrated, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine, especially with, these top-tier quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, who it's basically Super Bowl or bust every single year. Doesn't matter who else is on their team. They're proven winners, proven great quarterback talents in this league. So it's always going to be Super Bowl or bust. It's not like, oh, well, we got to the playoffs. We beat the wild card team. We had a good season. No. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Big Ben. What else do we got? Matthew Stafford's kind of heading into that as well. He's been with the Lions, so, you can't really go Super Bowl or bust. But these elite passers in this league that have already won and knows what winning is, it's always going to be Super Bowl or bust for them. So, of course, you can have some frustrations at the end of the season. Fuck, man. You didn't give me enough protection. Damn it. That's what the reason was. Fuck, man. The offensive coordinator, what were we doing? We were not changing up our scheme for the entire season. Fuck, man. I was missing those passes out there. Myself, Russell Wilson, I could not get it done. Fuck, man. The running game was trash this year. The offensive line, y'all couldn't protect me. The defense, y'all were giving up those passes all the time. Come on. Y'all were getting, toasted out there offensively, defensively, by the defense, by their offense, our defense. So fuck, man. Damn it. Ugh, man. Pete Carroll, I don't even want to be here anymore, yo. If you're not going to help me out, damn it. Ugh. That's perfectly normal right after the season when it's Super Bowl or bust and you just underperformed the entire team did. Of course, there's going to be some frustration there. Just unfortunately, some of that got out to the media, to the press, and they ran with it like they do and blew it all out of proportion. But it just, like Russell Wilson said, I think it got a little blown out of proportion a little bit. So, of course, there's going to be frustration. That's what, Aaron Rodgers has 100% to be frustrated because of last season. Fuck, man. I couldn't get it done. Fuck, man. Matt LaFleur, what are we doing? You're going to kick the field goal when you have me? Come on. What the hell is that? You're not going to give me any more weapons in the offseason? Fuck, man. We just got to the NFC Championship game and I just lost against my biggest competitor in Tom Brady. Fuck, man. Fuck. But then, after that initial kind of fuck, man, you kind of have to, all right, let me take a breath. Let me kind of, analyze the entire season. I need to get better. Let's have some discussions. What are we going to do to overcome? We just hit a hill. We hit a little bump in the road last season. What are we going to do to overcome that? All right, that's what you want, Pete Carroll. That's what I'm saying. Let's get our other people in here. Let's get the other coaches. And let's try to collectively come up with situations and solutions to not have what happened last season happen this year so we can be that Super Bowl team. So, we're going to get back into this article here in a second, but we're going to see the sheer differences of that kind of initially, oh, fuck moment between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers and the Seahawks, and just tell you why it's so much different and why, Aaron Rodgers is taking it way, way overboard. All right, so here we go. Let's keep going here. Another quote here. Quote, there was a lot of people. There was a whole thing saying that I had requested a trade, and that was just not true. So once again, that entire trade thing, he never requested a trade. Once again, the media kind of ran with that story and that narrative. I didn't request a trade. I think everything kind of started from there. And then obviously tons of teams were calling, hey, I heard, from the media, y'all were looking to trade Russell Wilson. What's up with that? And they're like, no, we're not really. And then they hang up the phone. Quote, I didn't request a trade. I think everything kind of started from there. And then obviously tons of teams were calling. I didn't really want to go anywhere else. I wanted to play in Seattle, but if I had to go somewhere, these are the teams I could go to consider. So once again, those initial, I forgot what were those four teams were. I think, I can't even remember, but when we were kind of talking about, the media was talking about, Russell Wilson wanted to be traded to these teams. Those teams he would actually play for, but once again, he has a no trade clause, and he never really wanted to leave Seattle in the first place. All right, I wanted to play in Seattle, but if I had to go somewhere, these are the teams I would go to consider. I had a great conversation with Coach Carroll. My head coach. Once again, a great conversation. Aaron Rodgers has no interest of having conversations with any of his coaches. So once again, huge differences here. I had a really great conversation with John, too, the general manager. I had a great conversation with my coach, Pete Carroll. I went to the general manager. I had a great conversation there. What is Aaron Rodgers doing? Talking to the Jeopardy people, trying to get in touch with the Jeopardy people. Can I host this week? I heard y'all are doing guest hosts. I want to guest host. Okay. Keep me updated. I'll keep in communication with you. And then he kind of, gets a call from, damn it. The coach, the head coach for the Packers. He gets a call from them, and he's like, ignores it. Oh, the Jeopardy people are calling back. Let me answer this one. So, once again, Aaron Rodgers has no interest of having these great conversations to moving forwards to see what we can do to get better and overcome what we've experienced this season. So, quote, I've had a great conversation with Coach Carroll. I had a really great conversation with John, too. Coach Carroll and I spent a lot of time together one-on-one. Aaron Rodgers wants no part of Matt LaFleur. They're never hanging out. We're here to do what we are meant to do, and that's to win it all. I'm excited. So once again, Russell Wilson putting all this narrative behind him. Yeah, I was frustrated at the end of the season, but that's given. That's given. It's Super Bowl or bust, folks. If you're one of the highest players in your sport and you don't win the Super Bowl, of course you're going to be upset. Of course you're going to kind of say things that you don't totally mean, but in the moment, it's kind of just right in front of you. Man, oh man, my last play that I remember, I got sacked. Fuck, man, if I didn't get sacked all the time, we would have won. So of course you're going to have those initial kind of, criticisms of what really happened that season. But once you kind of take a breath, take a step back, truly see what the entire season was like, and then you start building from there, and you start talking to your coaches. How are we going to get better? How are we going to move past this? And that's exactly what Russell Wilson was doing here in this offseason. Alrighty, anything else here? We get any other quotes here? That's really it. So, That's what we're saying, man. Just total differences between Russell Wilson and, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wants to be the diva and keep to himself and not kind of, want to get better and not want to work with his team to get better and not want to compromise because unfortunately, it's a business and a team game all in one. It's not all about you. You haven't done anything in the last 10 years. Nothing meaningful. Always choking in the NFC Championship games. And Russell Wilson's like, you know what? We had a bad season. And let's get ready to work. Let's get back to work. Let's see how we can improve. I want to be here. I love being here. I love here in Seattle. Aaron Rodgers, total opposite, total difference. So, that entire kind of Russell Wilson kind of trade saga in the beginning of the offseason was truly bunk. And, Russell Wilson's ready to move on and ready to get better. So, that's where we're at with leadership in the NFL, folks. One's good, one's bad. Total night and day. Alrighty. Let's keep going here. Falcons wide receiver Russell Gage ready to help fill Jones's shoes. Obviously here, no more Julio Jones for the Atlanta Falcons. They have their number 1 wide receiver in Calvin Ridley, but they need, kind of the number 3 to step up and now be the number 2, and that's what Russell Gage is kind of, focusing on here. So we get a quick couple of quotes from him here. So let's read this. The Julio Jones trade thrust Russell Gage from third fiddle behind 2 stars in Atlanta to second chair. Entering his 4th season, the LSU product knows the pressure is on him to produce. Quote, I understand my role may have increased, but I'm ready for it. Love it. We're going to keep moving forward. So once again, having to step up into this bigger role, starting from the 3rd, going to the number 2. All right, quote right here. Well, let's read the other paragraph. Here we go. Feeds into the quote. A 6th-round pick in 2018, Gage has seen his opportunities and productions rise each season. After being buried in the depth chart as a rookie, 6 catches for 63 yards, the Falcons trade of Mohamed Sanu midway through the 2019 campaign opened up a chance for Gage. He stepped through that door. The receiver generated 49 catches for 446 yards and a touchdown last season as a big piece of the puzzle, particularly when his fellow wideouts dealt with injury. Gage went off for 72 catches for 786 yards and 4 touchdowns. Great. Quote, there's no better teacher than the game. Being out there and taking those reps really helped me settle into those spots, the Z or X position or whatever it may be. I'm going to take a lot of that stuff and carry it over into this year, and that's exactly what we want to see. You always getting better, and like we just said, 786 yards last season, that's fantastic. If he can step that up, let's see if we can get kind of Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage both 1,000-yard receivers this year, and now we're talking about elite offense. So Russell Gage has proven, hey, if you give me more production, if you give me more reps, if you give me more targets, it's going to pay off. I'm going to be able to get it done for y'all. So once again, don't kind of worry too much about this Falcons team not being good because they don't have Julio Jones anymore. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but they still got great playmakers at the wide receiver position to get it done. Which is fantastic, and they also brought in Kyle Pitts, who once again is going to be a threat out there to help open up the other offensive receivers and pass catchers. All right, last quote here. Gage believes learning from Jones the past 3 seasons will pay big dividends when his role increases. Once again, quote, run. That was Julio Jones' biggest thing. Speed off the ball and running. A lot of guys get too caught up in thinking into their routes. Understand that even if you make a mistake, make it at full speed. A receiver's biggest asset is his speed. Whatever it is, you need to display it. So, Russell Gage was able to learn under Julio Jones for 3 years. That's valuable as heck. A Hall of Fame, great wide receiver talent in this league, able to kind of pick his brain, see what he does, try to mirror his game, and kind of, have your game influenced by that, so now you're even better, and that's exactly what Russell Gage has done. He's like, all right, I gotta just be fast. I just have to have that speed. If I make a mistake, make it at full speed. At least I'm at full speed. At least I can get behind the defense if, unfortunately, I do make a mistake, and he's all about it. So, love hearing that from Russell Gage. He's ready to take the next step. He's learned from Julio Jones. He's proven if you give him more targets, more responsibilities, he can handle it and get it done. And he's a nice kind of, 6-foot wide receiver out there. He's got some great speed, and Reddy's going to set it off here as the number 2 wide receiver to Calvin Ridley, number 1. So don't worry about the Falcons, folks. They're still going to be fine. And, now that they have this new head coach, who was the Titans offensive coordinator from last year, that's going to be pretty solid. I mean, Arthur Smith, I want to say. Is that the head coach's name? Arthur something. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Titans for the last 2 years, who's been really solid offensively, and now he's coming to this Falcons team that has pieces everywhere offensively. Doesn't have the great running game that the Titans did, but they still got the great wide receivers that the Titans did with an above average game manager passer, Ryan Tannehill and Matt Ryan. So we'll see what the head coach can do here. Going to be a perfect fit for him here in Atlanta with all the weapons, so expect their offense to be A1 top notch here, and maybe we can start kind of betting the Falcons all season because we can count on their point production. We'll see how the running game develops, and we'll see how their defense does, but so far for the offense, I truly don't think they're going to take the slightest step back not having Julio Jones there. All right, a couple more stories here. Like we kind of, hinted at a little bit earlier in the show, Ron Rivera planning for open quarterback competition during Washington training camp, and once again, exactly, we knew this was the plan coming in. Nobody's won the starting job just quite yet during the OTAs and these mandatory mini camps coming up. They're ready for that competition. So once again, potential for Gardner Minshew, it would have to kind of be, made quick if he really wants a true chance to kind of win the starting job here in Washington. So it would have to kind of come quick, but let's see what Ron Rivera is kind of saying here in the article. We love every time this man says something, so let's see if we get any nuggets in here of anything good. So here we go. Despite Fitzmagic getting paid way more than his fellow signal callers and being the presumptive starter, that didn't stop Coach Ron Rivera from declaring a quarterback competition heading into next month's training camp. Quote, "It's going to be a good competition. I look forward to it. It's going to be push our football team and make our football team better. I just feel that going into this knowing we have a proven guy there that has the ability to lead us, but again, we have a guy in Taylor that shows us he can do it. They are going to compete. They are going to push, and I am looking forward to it." So once again, Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're the veteran, but we just had Taylor Heineke last year that kind of got it done, went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady in that Bucs defense and was only one possession away from upsetting the future Super Bowl champions. So, this is not, you just step in, make one good throw and instant. Yeah, okay. Can you throw the ball? Oh, you can't. Okay, you're the starter. No. It's going to be, a pretty solid competition. The young and hungry Taylor Heineke, the persistent veteran and Ryan Fitzpatrick who just does not want to call it quits quite yet. So we're all about it. And Ron Rivera, we know he's going to handle this kind of situation, and we're truly going to trust every decision. Whoever wins the starting job, we are going to believe that Ron Rivera truly made the right decision because, when has he not? When has he not made the right decision? We're all about him here. So big into this Washington team going into next season, and we'll see who's going to win the starting job. I think it's probably going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick just because he has the experience. Taylor Heineke, he only played one game last season, so I do think it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, but hey, give Taylor Heineke that shot and let's see what we can do. All right, one last quote here. The veteran coach said he doesn't want to make the same mistake of declaring a starter too soon and hindering the process. Quote, "The mistake I made," oh my God, he made a mistake before? I never knew that. "The mistake I made was that my approach was wrong. I should have made as big a competition as possible, and that's on me. I wanted to try and find a guy. I thought Haskins was ready to take a step and take every opportunity. I tried to build that rapport he needed with his teammates, and that would have been something we may have been able to see sooner and could have done something different perhaps." So once again, Dwayne Haskins last year truly not panning out. We never loved him. We never believed in him. And Ron Rivera kind of, threw him out there a little too much. Thought he was the guy. He was kind of already a little implemented here in Washington when Ron Rivera got here. So he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to kind of go with this guy. And then he kind of named him the starter. But then he kind of floundered big time. And he was like, all right, now I have, when do I make the switch? It was my mistake for not having a bigger camp here, a bigger competition, just really naming Dwayne Haskins. So We're all about Ron Rivera. We know he's going to make the right choice, and it's going to be interesting to see. We'll keep tabs on it and how they're looking. We're keeping tabs on Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock when they were having their OTAs, so we'll keep an eye on Washington here with Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick to see who can win the starting job. Alrighty, we get this, and I hate this, folks. I truly hate this. Here we go. College football playoffs is expanding to 12 teams. Why? Stupid. 12? Y'all are going from 4 to 12? I don't want to pass 4, but go to 8 first and then go to 12. You're just going to go to 12 right off the rip? Damn it. I hate it, folks. There's not that many good college football teams for this national championship. I don't think it's going to be great for the sport, and I think it's going to be kind of lame, and we're going to get a lot of blowouts, and it's going to be kind of stupid. So let's talk about it, and then we'll see what's been going on in the past. But a couple of tweets here. So pending approval, which it will be approved, college football playoffs headed to 12 teams. Earliest start would be after the 2023 regular season. Because of impact of expanded playoffs, expect anywhere from 4 to 10 bowls to be eliminated by 2023. Now, this is how it's going to work out. 6 highest-ranked conference champions. So that's exactly what the problem was. I mean, it was just kind of, the conference champions bowl at the end of the day, which it shouldn't have been. But, all the judges, the voters of the college football playoffs, that's only really what they cared about. Who were winning the top divisions, the SEC, the Big Ten, all that, those big conferences, whoever was the winner of that, those conference champions, that was basically the college football playoffs, which is absolutely stupid, but that's how they were doing it. So 6 highest-ranked conference champions and the next 6 highest-ranked teams will make the college football playoffs. 4 highest-ranked conference champions, seeded 1 through 4, will receive a first-round bye. I guess that's good if you're going to do it, so we don't get, let's just say Alabama's number 1 and then freaking Coastal Carolina number 12. That's an instant blowout, no competition. So I guess they're kind of doing it a little right, having a first-round bye for the top 4 teams. Teams 5 through 12 will play first round at home field of highest ranked team. And get this, Notre Dame and Independence can't get first round byes because they have no conference championship. They're independent. So how lame is that? So now you're putting restrictions on the kind of seeds, on kind of the rankings. All right, top 6 have to be conference champions. Top 4 have to be the top 4 conference champions. And Notre Dame Independence can never be in that top 6? What? Why are you restricting it? I don't like that. But just make it the top 4 teams ranked. That's it. Don't have the conference championship plugged into the rules. I don't like that. Take the entire body of the season. Yes, obviously, winning the conference championship is still going to be good, and you can still factor that in, but don't make that a written-in rule. So that's how the college football playoffs are going to work. 12 teams, 4 of the highest are going to have a first-round bye. 5 through 12, they'll have home field advantage for the highest seed. But do we even need that? Do we need 12 teams, folks? Do we truly need 12 teams in a college football playoffs? So let's go back here. Where I got it up. Let's go here to kind of just see how they were ranked. Let's go back to the last couple of seasons and see the ranked teams. Who was number 10? Who was number 11? Who was number 12? Do we even care of watching them? Or is it just going to be a blowout after blowout? Because already the college football playoffs have already kind of been blowouts, and we're only talking about the top 4 teams. So here we go. Last season, let's talk about it. The top 4 teams last season: Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, and then Notre Dame 4. Once again, Notre Dame had no business being in the top 4, but they put them in there anyway because they're kind of a big name, and for the first time they weren't playing in the independent conference because of COVID. But Notre Dame still gets in there, and it's a blowout, first round blowout, folks. 31-14. Alabama stomping Notre Dame, non-competitive. So now we have to watch number 5 play number 12 and get a blowout there. We're just delaying the inevitable, making potential more opportunities to get hurt. What is this overall, an extra game? So 4 first round byes, 5 through 12 play out. That gives us, was that 8 teams? So 8 teams, bring them down to 4. So now it's like 8 teams once kind of, 1 through 4 can start playing. So it's like an extra game. So an extra opportunity to get injured for the national championship game to be lackluster. I mean, I don't like it. So yeah, Alabama blowing out Notre Dame 31-14, and then Alabama versus Ohio State, a blowout as well, and that's the national championship game, 52-24. So the original kind of 4-team college football playoffs aren't even yielding that really competitive games, and now you want to expand it to 12? To 12? Y'all went from 4 to 12, not even taking the intermittent step of like 6 or 8? You could do 6 with the top 2, with the top 2 teams having the first round bye. Do 6, not 12. What the hell is this? Clemson versus Ohio State, a little closer, but still a blowout at the end. Ohio State putting up 49 points, winning 49-28. So once again, overall, it wasn't that competitive of a college football playoff. But that was just the top 4 teams. Who were these other kind of teams here? So let's go to the final rankings. Here we go. So we have Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State number 3, Notre Dame 4. Then we get Texas A&M 5. They should have been number 4 anyway, because Notre Dame got kind of blown out in their kind of bowl game, trash. But they made it anyway. So once again, they weren't even kind of getting the teams right to begin with in the top 4. They just wanted the big names. We're going to talk about UCF in a second when they kind of went on their big run of going 11-0, and they still got out of the college football playoffs. So that's the problem of the college football playoffs. You just want to make it the biggest team invitational. Give it to the lower teams. I know they didn't play the best competition, but they still went undefeated, and I'd rather give those teams a shot in the top 4 than, a great team that lost 1 or 2 games in the regular season. So that's why I don't like them expanding the team, because y'all weren't even getting the first 4 right to begin with. But, Notre Dame number 4 last season, trash. Texas A&M was 5, should have been 4. We have Oklahoma 6, Florida 7, Cincinnati 8, Georgia 9, Iowa State 10, Indiana 11, and Coastal Carolina 12? Do we really want to see Texas A&M versus Coastal Carolina? I mean, those would be the top 12 teams in that college football playoffs from last year. We don't need to see that. Iowa went 8-3. You're done. You lost 3 games. Florida went 8-3. You're done. You lost 3 games. I don't need to see 3 lost teams in a college football playoffs. That's not what college football is. It's about, going undefeated, barely losing a game. And that's it. It's not football. You can't compare it to the NFL. The NFL, you can lose 3-4 games and still be great. College, it's kind of one and done. You don't play, you play less games overall than the NFL. Everything's high pressure. Don't you have like 2 bye weeks? Go get it done. You play a lot of trash teams as well. Go get it done. Prove that you can win every single game. That's what college is all about. Never taking a night off, never taking a game off, always being ready. And they're kind of watering it down here because we're going to have Coastal Carolina, North Carolina Tar Heels was 13 at 8-3. They almost made it in. Could have made it in. Just trash. Iowa State 8-3. Georgia 7-2. Florida 8-3. Coastal Carolina was number 12 at 11-0. That's what we're saying. You've already got the rankings wrong. Yeah, Coastal Carolina's probably not playing anybody good, but they went undefeated. They did what you're supposed to do in college, win every single game. We got 3 lost teams out here getting favoritism over the top team, over, some undefeated teams. So I absolutely hate that. That's just last season, folks. Let's go back to 2019. Let's go to this. Let's see what 2019 was all about. Here we go. The top 4. LSU versus Oklahoma. Blowout. That was the 1 through 4. That was the 1-4 matchup. Now you want me to see a 5 through 12, 5 and 12 phase? I don't want to see that. LSU blowing out Oklahoma 63-28. Ohio State and Clemson, the 2-3 matchup, that was close, 29-23. And then in the championship game, kind of competitive, LSU winning 42-25, but we're still getting the first round blowouts. So why are we expanding that? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's great. All right, what else do we get here? What's their top 12 in 2019? Here we go. LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, Oklahoma State 4. Then we get Georgia at 5, Oregon at 6, Baylor at 7, Wisconsin at 8. Wisconsin was 10-3, folks. Florida 10-2, Penn State at 10-2, Utah 11-2. The Auburn at number 12. That's the cutoff at 9-3. Do we need to see that? Do we need to see a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs? We don't. We don't need to see that. Let's see what we get in 2018, 2019. The top 4, Alabama 1, Oklahoma 2. That was a Oklahoma 4. That was a close game, 45-34. Clemson, Notre Dame. Once again, Notre Dame. They just want Notre Dame to get in. Stop letting. This is what you get. This is what you get when you put garbage teams in. Notre Dame is garbage. They got blown out again in 2018, 30-3. Non-competitive. So we're just putting more trash teams in. Stop making. Notre Dame's not good. Stop trying to force them into the college football playoffs. Stop trying to force these trash teams in here. We're getting blownouts. And then in the championship game, blowout. Alabama was the number 1 seed and got blown out 44-16. So once again, they're not even getting the original 4 right. I hate it. I hate it. Damn. Here we go. The top 12 of 2018. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Oklahoma 4, Georgia 5, Ohio State 6, Michigan 7, UCF. That was the 12-0 season, and they were number 8. They were number 8. You put Oklahoma, they're 12-0. They're 12-1. So once again, you weren't even giving those kind of smaller schools the opportunity to get in the top 4. So I guess that's why you expanded a little bit, but not to 12, and then just stop putting the high-profile teams out there in the in the top 4. Washington Huskies 10-3. Florida 9-3, LSU 9-3, Penn State 9-3. So we've got all these 3-loss teams. They're gonna get blown out first round. So that's where we're at with the college football playoffs. It is unfortunately being expanded. I do not think that's the right decision. Keep it for. Stop having it, if you win the conference championship, stop making that a requirement. I don't get it. You don't have to make that a requirement in here. Maybe expand it to 6, have the top 2 first-round buys, and then we're still solid. But I don't understand why you go to 12 immediately. I think that's a little overstep. 6, I think I'm a little all right with. 6, that's fine. 6 with top 2 buys. 12, geez. 12 and all those stipulations. I hate it. Alrighty, we're going to save this story maybe for tomorrow. But Jonathan Joseph, cornerback, retired after 15 years. Going a little late here. So we do have a nice little highlight package from him, and we'll respect his career tomorrow on the show. But we got to get moving a little bit. What do we do? Aaron Rodgers segment's probably going to take 20 minutes. Let's just head into the NBA. We'll hold off for Aaron Rodgers' NFC Championship game against the Bears, probably for tomorrow's show, unfortunately. Went a bit later on those stories than I was expecting, but let's just head over to the NBA. We'll break down those games from last night, and we'll do our moneymaker for tonight's action. All right, so the first game up is the Nets and the Bucks, and, this is why we weren't kind of, totally off on the Bucks coming into Game 3, but even though they won Game 3, it wasn't good. It was not promising. This was not a good, promising win for this Bucks team. Very low scoring game, 86-83. Bucks win by 3. Nobody could make a shot at all in this game. Jeez Louise. So I want the Bucks to win. I truly do, but I cannot see this team truly winning the series, even though they won Game 3. We'll see what happens Game 4. We're obviously not going to jump ship now that they finally won, but this is still not a promising win here for the Bucks. So let's talk about it here. Drew Holiday, 9 points on 28% shooting, 14 shots. Just everybody was abysmal shooting last night. Everybody. Chris Middleton, 35 points and 15 rebounds. He shot 48%. Once again, him playing the 2, taking a lot of shots, 25 shots. He hit 3 of 6 from 3. Luckily enough for this Bucks team, he could hit a bucket. Brook Lopez, 3 points, but once again, 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He had 11 rebounds, I'll give him that, but the shooting was abysmal. Giannis, 33 points, 14 rebounds, but he took 8 threes. That man took 8 threes. You better stop that. Stop. He's trying to be Blake Griffin out here. You're not Blake Griffin. At least Blake Griffin, he can kind of get you 35 to 40% from threes on some solid nights, but that is nowhere near Giannis's game. I hate all the threes he was taking. I know he's trying to extend the floor vertically so he can try to get down low more, but you're not. You're just reaffirming. We're just clogging the paint. So Giannis, he's going to have to do something, man. Yes, he put up 33 points, but 5 turnovers, making it, they still made it hard for him to get down low. They were still making him work for it. And he was settling for the freaking 3-pointers. 1 of 8. Jeez Louise, stop. And then the free throws are still abysmal. 4 of 9. 4 of 9. You left 5 points on the board. Giannis, please work on your free throws before these threes. Jeez. And then PJ Tucker back at the 3. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You cannot have non-scorers out on the floor against this Nets team. Yes, you won last night. It's a fluke win. Everybody was off on that Nets team shooting. But that's not going to happen again. When have we seen the Nets not shoot good for back-to-back games? When have we seen Joe Harris not be good for back-to-back games? Never. So PJ Tucker, 0 points. That's not what he does. He took 4 shots, missed them all. Took 3 threes, missed them all. Had a chance in the fourth quarter to hit a wide open corner 3 and missed it, so he's not even reliably clutch. He had some decent defense out there. That's what this game was, just freaking garbage shooting and defense affecting shots. So I guess PJ Tucker did his job out there. We'll see what happens for game 4, but he's going to stay the number 3 out there. They're not going to kind of move Chris Middleton. What we want to see is Drew Holiday at the 1, Bryn Forbes at the 2, Chris Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Lopez at the 5. You need scores out there on the floor, especially against this Nets team. What else do we get? Bobby Portis off the bench. He put up 4 points and 6 rebounds in only 11 minutes. Bryn Forbes, 0 points on 4 shots. We need him to start getting going. And then Pat Connaughton, 2 points on 2 shots. But overall, they shot 37% as a team, not getting it done. They only hit 6 threes. The Nets hit 8 threes. Just absolute abysmal shooting all over the place last night. And that's the same story here for the Nets. So let's keep going. Kevin Durant on this Nets team. Man, oh man, 30 points, but on 39% shooting. Even Kevin Durant wasn't efficient. Something's up when Kevin Durant's not efficient. So, both these teams not shooting well, and the Bucks just barely surviving, only winning by 3. Nets had the final shot. Kevin Durant had the final shot and missed it. This is not going to be able to repeat. This is not going to be repeating in game number 4. The Nets are going to get back on track, and the Bucks better hope they get back on track too, but that's not as promising as the Nets are. So Kevin Durant, 30 points, 4 steals, 5 assists, 11 rebounds, 3 of 8 from the 3, and 29% on 28 shots. Joe Harris letting us down big time, 3 points, but on 1 of 7 from 3. He shot 9% from the field, folks. Jeez Louise. Blake Griffin, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He only took 5 shots last night, so, he's not adding fuel to this abysmal fire shooting night. Bruce Brown, 16 points. He shot 47%. He put up 11 rebounds as well. Bruce Brown's getting it done. And then Kyrie Irving, 22 points, 3 steals. He only had 1 assist all night because nobody was making any shots. 5 rebounds, but 2 of 8 from the 3. 40% on 22 shots. Just nothing great. And then off the bench here, Mike James, who's been great, this playoffs, only 2 points on 5 shots. Landry Shamet, who's usually pretty solid scorer, 3 points on 4 shots. And then Nicholas Claxton, 2 points, but those 7 rebounds, we love it out there. Nicholas Claxton trying to get big. So the Bucks just barely survive out there. We ended up taking the Nets +4, and they lose by 3, so bingo bango. We were able to hit there. Love seeing that. And we actually had both of our moneymakers last night. We hit the Jazz Clippers as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But overall, this was an absolutely garbage shooting night. Folks, throughout the entire game. Folks, we're talking about 80 points, and these are kind of they are the league's highest rated offense out here, the Nets and the Bucks. So the Bucks, barely surviving. Giannis, I still can't buy into. Chris Middleton had a solid night. He kind of got off to a good start. The 35 points we'll definitely take, but overall, not reliable on anybody else on this Bucks team. Drew Holiday's definitely going to have to step it up, and Chris Middleton's going to have to kind of play the same way he played last night, hopefully a little bit more efficient. Giannis is going to have to play the same as he did last night, hopefully not take 8 threes, and then they're going to need probably 2-3 other players to also step up scoring-wise if they want a chance to beat this Nets team. So, Nets, poor shooting night, and they were still right in the thick of it. Three-point loss, so we'll see what happens game 4, but this game was not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see pure domination by the Bucks. First time at home in this series. We did not get that. Poor shooting night by both teams. Big poor shooting night by the Bucks overall as well, and that's not giving us any hope, any promise going into game number 4. We'll see what the spread is. We'll see which team shoots better. Just which team would you believe that shoots better after a poor shooting night? Because they all have poor shooting nights, but which team do you believe is going to get it turned around? The Nets or the Bucks? Because I'm going with the Nets. I don't see Kevin Durant having back-to-back bad shooting nights. So, and I don't see Giannis ever improving of 1 of 8 from the 3. So it's like, it's going to be bad. So Nets lose game number 3, 86-83 to the Bucks. Unfortunate. Alrighty. Then we go to the Clippers and the Jazz, and once again, the Jazz are able to win. What was it? The Jazz minus 3.5. They win by 6. Bingo, bango. We hit that one. And just once again, it's just the role players of the Clippers not having great shooting nights, not being reliable to score the ball. Kawhi, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, that's the only scorers on the team. Luke Kennard not playing a lot of minutes. We'll talk about that when we get there. But what is Ty Lue doing? Luke Kennard just had a great game 1. And he's only playing 11 minutes game 2 when nobody else can score the ball on their team? All right. But let's talk about this Jazz team first since they got the win. Donovan Mitchell, 37 points. He shot 6 of 12 from 3. He got it going. He was on fire from quarter number 1 and never let his foot up off the gas. So 37 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 6 of 12 from the 3. You love to see it. Joe Ingles, 19 points on 70% shooting from the field, 4 of 7 from the 3. That's exactly what we love to see. 4 assists and 4 rebounds go along with that, man. The man was a plus 21 on the floor. Absolutely fantastic. Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 20 rebounds. Yes, sir. Rudy Gobert getting it done. Royce O'Neal, only 8 points, but he only took 4 shots. And then Bogdanovich, 16 points, 3 of 5 from the 3, 62% from the field. That's what we're talking about. Reliable scores, multiple reliable scores out here for the Jazz. And then we go down to the bench, the 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson, reliable scorer out here, 24 points off the bench, 6 of 9 from 3, 60% on 15 shots from the field. That's what we are talking about. Nobody else from the bench really playing that many minutes. Jordan Clarkson playing 26 minutes off the bench. Then we get Derek Favors, 11 minutes. Georges Niang, 9 minutes. He took 4 shots and missed them all. 0 points for that, man. But the Jazz, we can rely on their 5, and we can rely on the 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson, to get the scoring production done. That's why the Jazz are missing Mike Conley just a little bit, because that's another surefire 10 to 15 to 15 point average kind of what we can rely on Mike Conley to put up. So this Jazz team, they're getting it done without a nice offensive piece, and once he's back, the team's going to be deep and ready to rock. So they're ready to go already. So well done for the Jazz last night. The scoring is there, folks. The reliability. Donovan Mitchell. Stop being surprised that this man's putting up the points. We know this man's a bona fide superstar in the playoffs. Just last year in the bubble, going toe-to-toe with Jamal Murray. 50-point games, 44-point games, 40-point games, 50-point games. That's what Donovan Mitchell does, folks. Big time. He wants the smoke. He wants the big stage, and he's proving it against this Clippers team this year. All right, the Clippers now. Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 47% from the field and 2 of 4 from the 3. That's, what Kawhi does. Little light, maybe, 25 to 26, but still getting 20 points. Marcus Morris, 8 points, 10 rebounds, but 0 of 5 from the 3. Once again, Marcus Morris not getting it done. He had the chance to kind of, hit the game-tying 3 in game 1, get blocked by Rudy Gobert, and then flounders out here with the only 8 points on 36% shooting. Zubac down low, 7 points, no rebounds. He only played 13 minutes, but he had all of his shots, 3 of 3 from the field, so we'll take that. Paul George, 27 points, 10 rebounds, but once again, a little lackluster. 33% from the three, only 2 of 6. He was a minus 12 on the floor, the worst of the team. So once again, Paul George is truly not able to get it done for this Clippers team, and it seems like the playoffs get to him, the pressure gets to him. We heard that he loves he embraces getting called playoff P by the crowd, but he flounders every game. How can you be a superstar on your team and be the worst on the floor? A minus 12. Kawhi Leonard was a minus 8. I mean, it's an 8-point, it's a 6-point loss, so we expect you to be, minus 6, but a minus 12? I can maybe understand the minus 8s, but a minus 12? Oh, yikes. And then Reggie Jackson, highest scorer on the team. I mean, that's why we want him as the one, and that's why, he's still out there as the one. So, 29 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 8 from the 3, 57% on 19 shots. We'll take that. We'll like to see him get the other players involved a little bit more. He's not the true floor facilitator that you want your point guard to be, but he is a scoring threat out here, and they definitely need him. So, 29 points for Reggie Jackson, only a minus 4 on the floor, once again. Pretty solid out there for a 6-point loss. So, just unfortunate here by this Clippers team. Nothing great scoring the ball. Off the bench, Nicholas Batum, 7 points. Patrick Beverley, 3 points on 5 shots. He only got to the line 4 times. That's where his points came from. DeMarcus Cousins, 6 points on 7 shots. He only played 11 minutes and still was able to get up 7 shots. Not bad, 42%. He had 4 rebounds go along with that. And then Luke Kennard, like we said, why only play him 10 minutes? He hit 100% of his shots. 1 of 1 from the 3 for 3 points in 10 minutes. He got it done game 1. Nobody else can score the ball in this team. So put him out there. You have to have shooters on your team. Reliable offensive production that stretch the entire floor, that make you guard everybody. But you don't have to guard everybody on this team. You don't. Lock up Paul George. Make him not going. Rock up Reggie Jackson, and you're taking away one of their only 3 scorers on this team. So Clippers, once again, they just flounder because they don't have that reliable scorer. When you look at the Jazz, I can count on Donovan Mitchell. I can count on Bogdanovich. I can count on Joe Ingles. I can count as heck on Jordan Clarkson off the bench. I can count on Kawhi, but he's not clutch. He had 1 good clutch shot when he won the finals. I think it was over the Bucks. And that was it. That's all he did, really. That's his only clutch shot. So Clippers end up losing again. They go down 2-0, heading back to LA for game number 3. We'll see how they handle that, but I'm still liking this Jazz team, but I'm liking the Suns even better. So still think the Suns are probably going to come out of the West, but we'll see how that matchup goes, and we'll see if the Clippers can make this a series down 2-0. All right, that was the basketball from last night, so let's see what we have on deck for tonight's action. We've got the 76ers and the Hawks, 7:30 on ESPN, game 2 going into Atlanta. I love it. We'll see if we get any great value for this game. And then the Suns and the Nuggets, 10 o'clock on ESPN, game number 3, heading back to Denver. Heading to Denver for the first time, and we'll see how that works out for them. So let's get these lines up to date. We ended up hitting both last night. Nets +4, Jazz -3.5. So fantastic for us. And we'll see if we can do it again. So here we go. What do we have on tap for tonight? We got the 76ers and the Hawks. 76ers -2, Hawks +2. So here we go. 76ers -2, Hawks +2. That's pretty solid value. I'm getting +2 for this home team. Yes, sir. Give me that. Joel Embiid is a game time decision. Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's good to go, folks. I mean, this injury that he's claiming he's having, does he even have it? Because he's looking solid out there. And then for the Hawks, just Cam Reddish is still out. So this Hawks team, their firepower has been great. It's just, they only lost game 2 because of the early fourth quarter. Like the first 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, they just couldn't get going, and then they just couldn't make up ground for the rest of the game because the 76ers were kind of keeping pace scoring-wise. So I love this Hawks team over the 76ers. They stole 1 game on the road. They're in Atlanta, and I'm going to take the Hawks +2 here, folks. The 76ers rely heavy on their outside shooters. Yes, we can rely on Joel Embiid going down low. He's going to get his. But then how are the outside shooters? Danny Green's been abysmal this entire playoffs. Seth Curry's kind of been solid this series, and I'll give him credit for that. But at the end of the day, they have to rely on, Shake Milton. Dwight Howard's been great this series. Is he going to be good on the road? Probably. How many minutes do they play him? But once again, Ben Simmons can't really put up the points. Danny Green does not put up the points. He doesn't even attempt the shots to put up the points. Where when we're looking at the Hawks, obviously Trae Young, we got Bogdanovich, who's absolutely amazing. We love it. You can rely on the big of Clint Capella down low for 15, and then we got John Collins, and then off the bench we got Lou Williams. It's like we can rely on a lot more players on this Hawks team. And what's been so great about this Hawks team, they've been facing adversity this entire playoffs against the Knicks with that great defense and that rocking Madison Square Garden, and in the 76ers series getting down decently big, getting down bad. They were getting down bad in the early first quarter, and they were able to weather the storm. They just unfortunately took all their energy weathering that storm, and then they just couldn't initially truly get a nice lead and expand on that lead. And that's what happened in the end of the third quarter, where Shake Milton hits the buzzer beater three that really gave them so much momentum, and the rocking, roaring crowd of the 76ers really kind of, making the Hawks get off to that bad start in the fourth quarter. But overall for the game, the Hawks were in it the entire game, so I've got no worries that this Hawks team at home can take care of business. What can the 76ers team do on the road? How is Joel Embiid going to hold up? Probably good, but how is everybody else behind him going to get it done? We can rely on Joel Embiid. We can rely on Tobias Harris. Seth Curry, decent reliability. We'll see how he plays on the road. But overall, this Hawks team, I just trust their scores, trust their determination. If they get down big, bad, I can rely on them to get back into it. Where the 76ers, we did kind of see a game one, but they had a lot of turnovers kind of go their way, a lot of calls go their way to try and make it up in the fourth quarter of game number one. But the Hawks were ready and were resilient and kept weathering all the storms that they were dealt. So I'm going to give it up for this Hawks team. I think they win the game. We get 2 points. We'll take those points. All right, then we go to the Suns and the Nuggets. Suns first time at home. Suns +2, Nuggets -2. All righty, let's see who's all good here. Everybody's good to go for the Suns. And then for the Nuggets, PJ Dozier is still out, and Michael Porter Jr. is the game time decision with that back injury. And that's the main focus right there. Michael Porter Jr. not at 100%. It's unfortunate to talk about. He's so great when he is healthy. The back injury, it's been plaguing him his entire career, and it's plaguing him now in this playoff series, not getting it done. What has he done these last 2 games? Let me bring this up quickly. These last 2 games against the Suns in game number 2, Michael Porter Jr., 11 points. Folks, he's their second leading scorer. You count Jokic as 1, Michael Porter Jr. 2. And once again, kind of like this 76ers team, there's some kind of bad shooting spots. We can't truly rely on Facundo Campazzo. He's not that superstar. He's a good floor facilitator, but he's not somebody that can get you 15, 20 plus a night. And then Michael Porter Jr. not giving you that either. It's just not great. 11 points game 2. Game 1, he had, I think, 10 points. 15, but still not up to his standard of where we need him to be. He's got to be 25 plus, honestly. 23 plus, 22 plus, but has to be in there, and he's not getting there. We see him kind of getting worse as this series progresses, and just the Nuggets, they don't have that scorability that the Suns team has. Chris Paul's been looking absolutely brilliant. Is this finally his year? Let me knock on wood because I don't want to jinx him, but, there's always something that happens in the playoffs. Hopefully, his kind of something that happened this year was early on in that Lakers series with the shoulder, but it's kind of taken care of now, and he's getting it done. I mean, Devin Booker hasn't even been the main scorer in any of these games here for this Nuggets team, and they're still getting the win. We can rely on everybody on the Suns team. Jokic, not totally locked up by DeAndre Ayton, but still, decent decent competition down there for both those bigs. And, Jokic's not looking as great as Jokic can look because DeAndre Ayton's kind of, doing solid defense on him. So I'm going to take the Suns here on the road, +2. Just cannot rely on this Nuggets team. The Suns, they're looking like one of the best teams in the NBA, folks. Just getting it done, firing on all cylinders. The Nuggets have kept it close decently in the first half of both of these games, but then, just kind of, the longevity, the consistability starts to wear off for that Nuggets team, and that's where the Suns really open up the leads. The start of the third quarter, they always start off hot. First quarter, third quarter, they're ready to get out to that big lead, and the Nuggets just cannot handle it. If they get down, they're done. If they keep it competitive, there's nobody to kind of, push them over the edge. So we're going to take the Suns +2 here and, rock with the Suns here. So that's our moneymaker for tonight's action. Hawks +2 and the Suns +2. The twos, folks. We're taking points. We're taking close points, but we are confident that the teams just win outright and don't need that safety net of a 2-point. All right, that's gonna do it for us today. What do we got? We got anything breaking? We got any breaking news out here? What do we got? Nothing good. Nothing good. We're going to talk about Kyle Kuzma tomorrow. Lakers are probably going to trade him. Thank goodness. What else do we get? Nothing good? Nothing good. Nothing breaking. Unfortunate. Alrighty, so we're out of here. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to look at that Packers-Bears NFC Championship game. I cannot wait to watch that, folks. Cannot. So, alrighty. That is going to officially do it for us today. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And we're back tomorrow, folks. We're out of here.